Talk a little bit about how big last week was as far as the psyche for your football team, finally breaking through and get a positive result on the field from the work you've had done. How big is that to carry over into this week?
Well, Mike, you talk about like psyche. I think it's just more of unfortunately, the sports-related end result business. Our psyche's been pretty good for a pretty good portion of the year. We've been bruised a little bit, but bruises go away. Our guys show up every single day. It's not coach speak. They strive to be better every day. They try to capture the new information on the new team. What I would say is probably less psyche and more results that now there's something not as tangible as a loss, but more realistic than a loss that you put in that time to get. We're at Eastern for years. We've talked. We're used to winning. I want these kids to get used to winning. We just haven't got quite there consistently enough. So you call it psyche. I just think it's kind of a little bit of a. We put the same work in everybody else we play does. We just ended up with a different result, which was a positive result, and played really, really well in the process. It wasn't just a last-second field goal after a bunch of gas throughout the course of the game. We came in after playing 5 really, really tough opponents in league, and didn't go our way. The ball hasn't bounced our way much this year, but we've scratched, we've clawed, we've fought, we've battled. In every single game, we've not only been in, we've been in with a series to go. To get over the hump, we just haven't quite. We've kind of just paused before we got to the top of the hill, and it's not worked for us. But it was fun to watch that come together because Game 1 and Game 10 kind of mimicked each other. All 3 phases played really, really well. Played dominant against the run the ball really well, and the game was never really out of our control for about the first series on. And we played well with the lead. That's hard to do. Sometimes you take the gas pedal off and kind of breathe easy. We're not going to breathe easy. We got to get used to winning. We got to know how to finish games when we're ahead in games. We did that last week.
When you hear the guys talking about, especially the seniors talk about they want to close on a high note because it shows the younger guys how to do things. What does that say about, the values that they have and the values you and your coaching staff have instilled?
Well, I think it goes back further than the guys we have, the coaches we have. I think it's the institution we have, the program we have. I learned from guys before me, and guys learned from me, after I was done, and we've kind of, paid it forward a little bit. And I think that's what most teams probably would say they do. I think we do a really good job of that in a lot of different areas, not just on the football field, but off the football field as well. It always is important. When it's always going to come to an end. The road isn't going to be as paved as we anticipated it, whether it's in sports or in life. Some rockier roads than others, some bumpier roads than others. And we withstood those bumps and rocks along the way without flinching. I mean, really without flinching. We've been gut punched a few times, but bruised, but we didn't flinch the entire way, and that speaks a lot to our character of our guys, the guys we recruited out of high school, the belief they have in themselves and in their teammates, and really the coaches that put the game plans in place that legitimately have given us a chance week in and week out to perform at the ability we need to perform at to give ourselves a chance to win. So special kids, man, special kids, and I'd say that when I was a player, as an assistant, and as a head coach, we got special kids. I will argue with anybody that we got special kids, regardless of outcomes of games. We got really, really special kids that care a lot about more than just the 100-yard field. So it's special. It's more than ball.
I've always loved your guys' saying EKGs, Eastern kind of guys, and it feels like when you look at just some of the guys that are in that senior class, there's a lot of those. Can you just speak to this senior class, what makes them special, what makes them special guys, and just kind of talk about your experience with them?
Yeah, and when we started that in 17, everybody wanted to know the definition of this kind of guy, and I've always kind of tucked it away and kind of felt like that's the way I recruited as an offensive line coach. That position, probably more so than any position, the willingness to overachieve is unparalleled. I mean, it's second to none. And so the guys we recruit, talent aside, size aside, speed aside, are they overachievers? Do they have the ability and want to overachieve? So that is synonymous with Eastern kind of guy. We really do thorough homework in our process. It's not just about the game film and the highlight films that we get sent. We do a ton of homework. We're not always right because that's the way life happens sometimes. But it is a special class for a lot of reasons. I mean, looking back at the graduation dates of some of our classes, we had an 18 grad and we have a 21 grad. The 21 grad's Jack Seeley, who's a JUCO kid, and Darian Sampson came back for his 7th year. He's a 2018 grad. So it's not just special people. They come from different classes, 18s, 19s, 20s, 21s. I mean, there's 5 classes wrapped in one walking class here on Saturday. And it'll be different than the last couple of years because the last game, the last 2 years has been home. So it's kind of been a finality in a sad way because we haven't had the +1 game, but the last one's been the home one. This one's going to be different. So the tears are going to be shed a week earlier, and then we get to go back at it again. But special people that are going to do special things, and I say it every year, and I mean it every year. But it is a special blend of people, positions, but also high school classes. When it's all said and done, when you got, essentially 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, you have 5 different classes that are walking hand in hand. So you have anything from 25 to 21 walking together, wearing the same logo, trying to strive for the same thing. So it's been fun to watch these guys grow. Some for 7 years, some for 2 years, but nonetheless, it's always a special time of the year to acknowledge those guys, the work they've put in here at Eastern, believed in us, believed in themselves, and made lifelong bonds with people that they hadn't met before they got here, which is weird to think that some of your best friends are people you don't meet until you get to college. And then when you wrap your head around that after you're done with college in your career, it's like, man, I formed a real tight bond in 5 years, and that was only a fifth of my life. But those bonds are real, and they're real, and they're fun to watch. They're fun to see blossom.
If you're ready for Idaho State, what is the biggest thing you're hoping to see out of your football team?
Turnovers. We've had not enough this year. The ball's going to be in the air more than it's been in any game outside of Monmouth, really. So they'll spin it 50, 55 times. So we're going to get, we're going to get challenged at all 3 levels. D-line trying to get home, get to the quarterback's spot before he gets it off. Linebackers, in vision zone situations, DBs in vision zone and man situations, they're going to put the ball up. That's who they are. We've got to create more turnovers. We've been starving for turnovers, and that's something that physical football teams do. People that rally to the football do. We're playing hard enough, but there's more in the tank to get out of these guys. And I challenge the team this week to get multiple, to get multiple turnovers, to create more possessions for our team, turn it back over to the offense to be able to maximize points from an offensive possession standpoint. But that's what I'd like to see, and that could be a special teams element. That's also the offense keeping the ball, which we've done a pretty good job thus far to keep the turnover margin at bay because we haven't caused a ton, because we're playing the antithesis of the outfit we just played last week. So it's a whole different landscape defensively, especially, and really offensively. So both sides of the ball get a whole different outlook on what they're going to see this Saturday. So it'll be fun to see the adjustments, how much they kind of put stock into this week because it is such a different animal than it was last week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you, Coach.